Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So this video is going to be on a very important topic, which is about getting a sponsored job after you're done with your master's or your undergraduate degree. For the students who are not here, just for them to give a bit of a context, if you come here for a master's degree, you'll have a 1 year of student visa. Then ideally you want to switch to a skilled worker visa, which is for another 5 years. And in order to get the skilled worker visa, you need a sponsorship for the job. If you're not able to get it, you can still be on a post-study work visa for 2 years, but then again at the end of the 2 years of post-study work visa, you'll be again in a stress to find a sponsored job in order to get a skilled worker visa, right? So it's ideal for you that once you are done with your degree at the university, you get a job which provides you with a skilled worker visa, right? And in order to get that job, it has to be a sponsorship from a specific company. And now a lot of students actually struggle to get this sponsored job, right? So I was lucky that when I graduated in 2022, I was able to get my skilled worker visa or my sponsored job straight after my graduation, right? But not a lot of people are in the same bucket. To be honest, I think majority of the students who actually come to the UK, they end up going back to their home country because they're not able to get a specific job, right? And that's what I'm going to break down for you guys, that from my experience, what all things have worked for me. And those kind of things I think you should maybe apply in your journey when it comes to going after your sponsored job, because out there on LinkedIn and a few other platforms, there's so much of information where people have been talking about they apply to thousands of jobs, apply in quantity, those kind of advice, and I'll tell you just like, you know, what has worked for me and what didn't work for me, right? So hopefully you can get a bit more of an idea as I talk this through. So this video, there might be like 4 or 5 different steps. The first step is, now for people who are actually already applying for the jobs and they're not able to get the sponsored job, right? They're not able to go to the interview stage, right? So they're applying right now with their CV and the cover letter on platforms like Indeed, where the jobs are advertised, but they're not able to get an interview. Now for those people, the first step you need to do is evaluation, right? Evaluate that, okay, now I've applied for 5 jobs, I'm not getting an interview, right? So straight away, it should point out the fact that there's something missing, something lacking in your CV or your cover letter, and take this thing out that you're an international student, that's why employer is not giving a job, right? I was an international student, employer gave me a job, right? So, and there will be multiple examples where, you know, like international students have been able to get a skilled worker visa. So get that out of your mind. Right now, let us just focus on the things which are under your control, right? So CV and cover letter, there might be a flaw back, right? So if the first step is evaluation, right? Now the second step for people, now the ones who are evaluating themselves, then people like who are actually right now in their 6 or 7 months of the university and they're looking to apply for the jobs. Now my advice for them is, so obviously you need like CV and cover letter as 2 important documents, and a lot of students just start preparing the CV and cover letter beforehand applying for the jobs, which is good. But like one step which I will recommend you is to just go on platforms like Indeed and just look out for the jobs. So right now you've done your evaluation. The second step is you go on Indeed, a job marketplace, a job search portal. Then you start filling in your job title, what you want to do, location, just be flexible, put it in United Kingdom at the moment, and just see all the different roles which are available. Now when you're looking at the roles, read the job description, read like what kind of skills do they require out of you. And then you start preparing to your third step, which is on your CV and cover letter. Because like with CV and cover letter, those are the skills which you actually want to start mentioning down in your CV. And a lot of students who actually start building this CV and cover letter beforehand, they generally lack those kind of skills. They miss out on those skills which are actually mentioned when you start applying for the jobs later on, right? So this like a first step which I recommend you to do is to go on Indeed, spend like 2 days just like in and out, just reading it through, what's going on Indeed, what kind of jobs are available, what are the requirements, what all certifications they are asking, what kind of subjects I should be doing in my university, what kind of subjects I should be performing very good in my university, are they looking for distinction, 2:1, what's the grade. So you just get a bit of a sense of the job market in your specific space. Then you build a CV and cover letter. Before we go to the second part of the video, I've got a really helpful resource for any of the upcoming international students. So if you're coming here for studies, you'll be required to live in a student accommodation, and there's an amazing platform which I want to recommend you, which is Amber Students, as it is a marketplace of all the student accommodations, right? So if you're coming to Glasgow, now you don't know which all accommodations are there, so instead of you searching it one by one going on Google, Amber Student has done already the job for you, because they've already listed all those properties on their website. So you can make your decision based upon the cost, based upon the type of room you need, type of flatmates you need. And from now until mid of August, they've got an amazing offer going on, which is, so there's a link mentioned in the description of my video. So if you click on that link and book your accommodation, you'll be eligible to get £50 cashback. So it's £50 cashback if you book your accommodation before mid-August. Then secondly, you will be also participating into a lucky draw, where one lucky draw will be getting 1 month of free stay. So you're getting a loads of perk if you book your accommodation through Amber Students. So make sure to take the benefit of the opportunity. The link is in the description. Go ahead, click it and book your accommodation with Amber Students. Now with CV and cover letter, a lot of people think it's a hash, it's CV or cover letter. What I'll say you is these two documents are very important, and just don't think that cover letter is not important, right? So both of these documents are important, so don't just focus on your CV, but also we need to start creating your CV and the cover letter both together. And now spend here at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks, unless like you're sure that your CV is in a very good standard. And that's what I did during my journey as well, right? I spent like 3 months on my CV and cover letter. I was taking a lot of advice from my professors to refine my CV. So again, my advice here is somebody who has actually already got a job, contact them, reach out to them saying that, oh man, this is my CV cover letter, please give me your feedback, like, you know, is it like looking good, what kind of changes can I make, right? So you can come to me. I do one-to-one call, but those are paid. But if you don't want to pay, look around you. If there's somebody like who has actually got a sponsored job, or if they got any kind of a job, can they actually spend some time looking at the CV and cover letter? And once you've done that, spend, as I said, spend like good amount of time refining your CV and cover letter, okay? And once you've done that, then you start on going to that apply mode. Now on apply mode, I've got few advices here as well. So one thing which people kind of think is that they need to apply to all the bloody companies which are available, right? So here there's few things. The first thing is, when you're looking for a sponsored job, when you're applying to a specific job position, you need to look out for that company, whether that company has got a license to sponsor you or not. In order to do that, just go on Google, just search for register of licensed sponsors in the UK, and what it will take you to is a government portal which will show you all the companies which provide sponsorship. So then you know which company you were applying to before. Let's say it's ABC company. Then you go on to that big portal, press Ctrl F, because it's such a big list. It's like 50,000 companies on that list. So search for that specific ABC company, and if it's on that sponsor list, then you go ahead and apply. If not, then it's really has saved you a lot of time. Otherwise you would have wasted a lot of your effort and energy, right? So you're not going to apply on that company if it's not on that sponsored list. Okay, now I find out that company is on the sponsored list. What do I do next? Now that's the first thing when it comes to application. But now in terms of your strategy, what should be your actual strategy? So in my case, I just applied to 3 or hardly 4 companies, right? So I never applied to 100 companies. I never applied to 50 companies, like as the advice is out there, like apply in quantity. I never did that. I just applied to 4 companies, and I was very much selective on how do I want to apply for those 4 companies. And that's one thing which you can do. So what I'll recommend you is, definitely whatever industry you want to go to. So I was from a chemistry background, I love pharmaceutical. I was like, let me just apply to 3 best pharmaceutical companies. So I applied to 3 best pharmaceutical companies: Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Roche, three companies. Then I was like, oh, I need to maybe be a little bit more flexible, that chemistry is my field and pharmaceutical is where I want to go to, but chemistry can also be applied into consumer goods. It can be applied into paint industry. So I started applying for P&G, which is a consumer good firm. Then I applied for some other company which are in the cement industry. So just be a little bit broad when it comes to choosing your companies where you want to apply. And as a result, I just had this 4 to 5 companies on my list where I wanted to apply. And applied for the first company was P&G, then Pfizer, and so on. And the first company which contacted me back was P&G. And I give so obviously I spent a lot of time on my CV and cover letter. When I applied, I straight away got their interview call, right? And I attended the interview, and I was like immediately selected. So it's like as simple as it sounds, right? So it's all about spending that initial effort when it comes to job search and job application, which is thinking about, oh, is my CV and cover letter in a good standard? What about my application criteria? Am I just applying for the sake of applying to these companies, or I genuinely want to get something out? Is there a strategy involved there? So have that strategy of just focusing on the quality for those 5 companies, making sure your CV and cover letter are altered towards the job description of the company you're applying to. And once you have done all these steps, you should be able to land to the interview stage. Now, people who struggle to not pass the interview stage, again, go back. So people who have already done this, go back to them, ask them what is their advice, how can you do better, and like once that thing is fixed, ultimately you're going to get a sponsored job, right? And that's the entire end-to-end process, the way I think about it. And if you want any advice, you can book a one-to-one call with me. I hope this video has been helpful, and to check out Amber Students to book your student accommodation. Thank you. Bye bye.